Hello and welcome to the channel. I am here for sort of a rant video for you guys. Now this rant video is actually going to be on a specific metal subgenre, and the metal subgenre I'm going to be talking about is Viking metal / folk metal. Now, maybe some of you guys don't know this, but I'm obviously not a fan of this subgenre at all. And I don't plan on this being a super long video or anything. I just kind of want to give my thoughts on it because, well, I understand that this is a movement that is very popular with a lot of metalheads. A lot of metalheads that think this is one of the greatest things that's ever happened to metal. I don't know. I don't see it at all. I'm absolutely mind blown by that some people think that this is one of the best subgenres in metal. Oh my god, like, no, absolutely not. So yeah, I do want to, get into some things about Viking metal and folk metal and stuff. Now, some people might not view Viking metal and folk the same thing, but basically, it pretty much is the same thing. Folk metal sounds like Viking metal sounds like, folk metal, and, that's pretty much how it goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into some things here. And I know that this movement does have its audience. Like I said, for some reason it does. I personally do not understand the appeal with it. I know that some people think that, this scene is a requirement in order to be a metalhead. Now, this isn't common for a lot of metalheads. A lot of metalheads mainly refer to black metal being a necessity for metalheads. Which I don't agree with at all, but we all know those metalheads that think the heavier you go, the more of a metalhead you are, but that is just so wrong. I mean, the argument that I always bring up when people say how, oh, this band, or, this subgenre is an essential if you are a metalhead, I always say, was Black Sabbath in that subgenre? See, the essential metal bands and metal subgenres to me would be the bands that actually started the genres, like Black Sabbath, like Iron Maiden, like Metallica. You know what I'm saying? Like classic heavy metal bands. Not these new bands. I mean, how are these new bands essential? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I really don't understand the appeal with Viking metal. Like, it's just so, I want to say it's cringeworthy, but it's kind of like a mixture of that with just, I just don't see the relevance with it. I don't see how this style of music is even relevant. It sounds like someone took a time machine back to the Dark Ages and went on some kind of pirate ship or some kind of cathedral or something and recorded, knights or Vikings, singing or chanting or, whatever. And they just incorporate it with heavy metal music. And somehow that's good to some people. What? Now, I understand that this is nothing new. This is something I have seen a lot with people, but I just don't see the hype with it. I don't see how people are listening to Viking chants in 2020, in modern time. I know some people might say, well, you listen to bands from the 1970s. But you see, those bands are timeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, those bands are to enjoy forever, for the rest of your lives. This new stuff, this, Viking metal and, folk metal and stuff, it's so lame to me. Like, I don't see the relevance with this style in today's time. Save Viking chants for centuries ago. Why are we listening to it in today's time? I don't see it. I don't understand how this movement is popular. I don't understand. Why is this movement popular? The album covers don't help either. There's some album covers that I have seen that I just think, oh boy, I know what happens if I listen to that. I already know what I'm in for. I already know what that sounds like. Just based on the cover, it's, a Viking with their axe, like, I'm like, oh boy, I already know what I'm in for, some irrelevant Viking chantings from centuries ago. But yeah, I do have a pretty passionate sort of dislike for this subgenre, I'm just not into it at all. Now, I will say that if you are into it, I mean, I guess that's fine, but just kind of tell me what the appeal is for this scene, because I personally don't see it. I don't see it at all. You know, a lot of it sounds too medieval, too wizard-y, too fantasy-like, and just I just don't see the relevance. I don't see how someone can resonate with this kind of music in today's time. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are someone that, you know, is like living in the past, like your lifestyle is based off the medieval times or whatever, I can see it. But we're in 2020, for crying out loud. I mean, I don't understand how this is even still popular in the metal community and in the metal world in general. I personally don't see it. I just think about this and I just think I'd very much go rather listen to another subgenre. Please give me some progressive metal. Please give me some metalcore. Give me some thrash metal even. You know, like, I just don't see the hype with this subgenre, man. I know some people, like I said, might call me a fake metalhead or a false metalhead or a poser for saying that, you know, I'm a metalhead, just based on the fact that I don't listen to bands in Viking metal or folk metal. But like I said before, was Black Sabbath a Viking metal band or a folk metal band? That's always the argument that I'll always make. Because, see, what makes someone more of a metalhead is, you know, the past. You know, where it started. You know, where metal actually started. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't see the hype with it. Like I said, if you listen to it, fine, whatever. But I personally don't see it, and I need an explanation for this. I need an explanation to how someone could resonate with this in the year 2020. I personally do not see it. But yeah, that's it for my rant, guys. I know I've been doing a lot more rants on my channel lately, but I know a lot of you guys do like my rants, so if there's anything else you do want me to rant about, please let me know in the comments. And I will try to find a reason to rant to it, of course. Obviously, I'm not going to rant on, you know, progressive metal or anything, because I actually do like progressive metal. A lot, actually. It's one of my favorite subgenres of metal. But yeah, this whole idea with folk metal and Viking metal, for me, I don't see the appeal. I really don't, you know? And it kind of goes into that whole thing with, you know, power metal, too. I know some people say that power metal is basically the follow-up to new wave, but, I mean, I guess I can understand that, but to me, it sounds nothing like new wave. Now, I understand that, you know, time will change sound. I mean, I do realize that, but I'm not a fan of that either. But that's it for my video, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Are you guys also not a fan of folk metal or Viking metal? Feel free to let me know in the comments. So, with that being said, thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.